Hi, I'm Kieron Sweeney, the CEO of Breakthrough Entrepreneur. We're a leadership and business training academy in Vancouver, Canada. We're expanding to Los Angeles and other cities. And I have here today Bonnie Brudener, who's an amazing success story. Bonnie started the business journey many years ago, and she took a lot of different courses in business and personal growth. And what she did was she was able to create and realize her dream. Now, listen to this. Just over a year ago, she decided to completely shift her life. And what she did is she said, I'm going to move to New York. She had no job, no home, had no relationships there, but she got on a plane. She came here because she pursued her dream. 1 year later, she has what, 250 shows? Or something? Yes. Anyway, she's going to tell her story right now. So listen carefully, because when you really commit to your dream and build your belief and have the right business training, you really can achieve anything. So why don't you tell us your story, because it's just fascinating.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that nice introduction. Yeah, so my background is in personal development, 20 years, and I worked for a lot of the celebrity kind of motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, Harvey Mackay, and many others. And I built my own brand and, never quite had something that was a raving success. I would I was a dabbler. I would create a business, and I'm very good at having ideas and having a vision and doing things, and I was just tired of that. I just thought something really needed to switch. So on my 40th birthday, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning in a panic, as you had explained, and decided that I had seen every episode of Sex and the City, and I needed to be in New York because I needed to be living that type of life, that excitement and drinking Cosmos on the weekday. And but more importantly, following my dream, which was television. And so I came to New York. What you didn't get to say, and it's a longer story, is that I didn't have a man or a plan or a job or really the means to do what I did. And I was robbed. I had everything stolen from me. I had a couple of other bad occurrences happen in the first week, but I wasn't willing to give up. I wasn't willing to go home. I was going to hell-bent follow that dream. And thankfully I did. We are here in New York at the TV studios, and you last night were one of the sponsors of our 1-year anniversary event. Right. And you saw what we've been able to create, and it's beyond belief. We have a television show that's now on 4 cities. We have a digital magazine. We're on Apple TV, Google, thanks to you and some of your companies and creations. And we have mass distribution. We reach in the tens of millions every week with our show. We are on YouTube. We're on social media channels. And it really came from having this vision bigger. I thought, I'm not going to just do a TV show. And I know you think this way. Well, I know because this is what you teach. But it wasn't just having a TV show. I thought, well, who do I love the most? Oprah. Who do I admire the most? What did she do? She created a network. She created a magazine. She created a show. And through a lot of your teachings and what, is needed, I was able to think differently and to, so far so good, create this media network. So
that's
thank you.
Oh, wow.
For what you
teach. Thank you. I mean, what's so great is when people actually take the teachings and put them into action and create their dream. And now you're, huge success and growing. And like Bonnie was just telling me that now she's going to be on how many subways and buses? And
250 subways and 20 bus shelters. They call them bus shelters, but it's where you wait at the bus. And you're
not going to be able to take the subway now.
No. Well, we're going to have
You're that girl.
We're going to have a fun campaign for people to, I don't know, we're going to do something clever. But it is, and again, from what I've learned with your courses, it's about, I don't want to say thinking differently, but it's about knowing how to think, right? So we all have an idea, especially in the personal development world. There's so many people running in the wrong direction enthusiastically, and it's great. I love passion. I think it's a definite need to be an entrepreneur. You need some balls. You need some passion. You need resilience, perseverance. However, you also need a very strategic plan. And that's what I love is you teach both. You teach that mindset, the passion, but you also do need the strategic plan and the implementation. And part of my success, sadly, came from literally no other option, right? So I had just put everything on the line, and I had to think the way that you teach because there was no other option. There was just literally we can't go back because there is no back anymore. We burnt those boats. And, I think that it's an invaluable lesson. I had to kind of, learn the hard way because it took me 20 years into entrepreneurship to actually get it and to hit the home run. And thankfully that's what's happening. But you actually make it easy. People just have to come to your course, and then here it is for them.
Yeah, and same here. I learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I didn't have this training when I started business. I mean, I went into business at age 29. And 2 years later, I was broke, had to move home with my mom and dad, and had to start all over again. But, I met a man who became my mentor. He's a multimillionaire. His name was Doug Maharg, and he just encouraged me to take courses and learn, and I did, and I rolled in courses back then. And if it wasn't for the trainings of Bob Proctor and Jack Canfield, who became my trainers, and I don't know what would happen. So for me, it works, but you have to work it. And you're just a great example of someone who it's just not going to seminars and having a great experience and meeting people. It's about going home and putting into action and taking that step, taking that risk, and just saying, I'm better than this. Even if you've had failures, and failure is part of the journey to success.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
In fact, the more failures, better. And then all of a sudden, and there'll always be failure. Failure's a good thing because it teaches us, right? Even successful businesses are having failures every day. So, but you can't let it take you out. You have to stay focused on your dream and say, I'm going to create it. And all of a sudden, everyone starts to show up. Last night we were at a reception, and I met all the people that have come into her life in the last year that you didn't know a year ago.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, I had to pinch myself. And this is a huge testament. I'm not bragging in any way. This is the team that we've been able to create. But I was walking around, and there were some people even at the reception that I hadn't met yet. And I was shaking hands and they'd say, oh, I'm a columnist for Inc. magazine. Oh, I'm a columnist for Forbes magazine. And there was the CBS producer there. There was 2 people from NBC, 20-year veterans at NBC. One was head of production. And he said, we want to talk to you. We need to talk to you about this new company that we have and having a channel. And I couldn't believe it. I could, because I envisioned it.
Right.
But I was always that person where I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I worked for Tony Robbins for 10 years. I mean, it doesn't get any more motivational than that. And I would do every single thing, and it wasn't working. And it wasn't until, I don't even know the exact moment, but where something shifted, where it just, through your teachings, if there is no other way. I'm committed to this. I'm just tired of it not working. And the funny thing is we are starting to have some success, and that is great. And I hope to God there's more to come. But I would always hear people say, that we're successful, and they'd be like, why is it working for them and not for me? And I think that's the one thing I would want to share with people is mindset and strategy. You have to have it. You have to have both, because I've tried both ways, and you have to have them together. And that's what I love about what you teach is both of those things. And I think, honestly, that's what's made the difference for our team.
So, Bonnie, before we end, what is one, I mean, I know you've learned a lot over the years in how to create success, but what's the one thing that made you successful? What's the one thing you did that you do as a habit on a regular basis that creates the success you're enjoying?
What a juicy question. It's never one thing, right? It's like when people say, what's your favorite country? I can't answer that because I've been to so many. I have like 36 favorites, and I'll tell you why. But if you're going to make me pick one thing, which I know you, and you are, aside from belief in yourself that you can do it and you can have it, it's being resourceful. It's when you get to that point of, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it like it is. When you're an entrepreneur, you wake up in the middle of the night with chest pains because you don't know how you're going to pay the bills or the payroll or this or that. And it's asking that different question of like, okay, well, what is possible? What could I do today that could pay that bill? Or what could I do that could get us on a bus shelter? Or what could I do? And honestly, I think that's the difference. And I heard that for so many years. Tony Robbins said it a million times. You say it all the time. But until I embody that, and I just ask every time there's a challenge, I don't even read it as a challenge. It's like, okay, here's what's in front of you. And, we're here in New York, and one of the analogies I like to use is the subway. It's like, I do this all the time, sorry to say, but you get on the wrong train, right? And all of a sudden you're trying to go downtown and you're going uptown, but get off the train. Like, don't throw your day away. Don't cancel your meeting. Just simply get off the platform and go to a different train and get where you're going.
Good.
And I think that's really the difference, is making that change of like, okay, this happened, now what? What's next?
Yeah.
So I guess it would be that what's next.
But I like that, resourceful.
Yeah.
And that's also about being willing to ask for help.
Yes.
Being willing to ask for assistance.
Yes.
And you know what? if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yes.
So ask, and people will help you. That's the one thing about human beings. Human beings like to help other human beings more than they help themselves.
Yes.
So ask.
Right.
And they will help, and they'll show up. So, well, thank you, Bonnie. It's been great. Thank you for taking the time to do this with us, and you're such an inspiration to me. And I love to see our students succeed and people I know succeed. So, Breakthrough Entrepreneur, if you'd love to work with us, we'd love to work with you. And we have a lot more stories coming. I'm going to be interviewing Laura Marmontal very soon, who has created a $120 million real estate portfolio. She started working with us about 6 years ago, and she's just had tremendous success. So, look for that one on our website coming soon. And thank you very much, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.